Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Brewskis and Housekeys. I am Nick Papantanakis.
And I am Tyler Thompson.
And we're back with you. We wanted to just keep the ball rolling. We had so much fun talking last week about water restrictions and AI. I realized that was the two main topics. But also spending time together.
Yeah, that's always best.
Shooting the breeze. So we're back with you again to talk a little bit more kind of about the world of kind of buying and selling at the same time. Seems like a lot of people are kind of in that boat.
Well, I would say it definitely is involving more of today's market for sure. Especially with kind of just like how everything is working out, how everything's unfolding. Most cases, people are buying or waiting on, purchase or sell of their house. So
yeah, and it's funky because there are people that can do it no problem. We're gonna dive into all the different ways you can do it. But then there are some people where you're really trying to troubleshoot and be creative.
Yeah.
To try and help them figure it out. So that is where the job gets fun for us, and it gets to be actually, I would say, never the same day twice would be the way I'd put it. So
it's a great way of putting it.
Arguably today is
great
that
way
day,
of putting it.
As we were talking about.
Today is that day. We're just unhinged, no schedule. We're there, and we're kind of just like we had to call and update each other, 2 or 3 times today
Yeah.
to update the time.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just how our business goes.
Yes.
So.
And it was the age-old saying that our seasoned veteran Phil Shell once told me that the first couple years of the business owns you.
Yeah, period.
And you own the business after that. So yeah, it's the...
That's a great way of putting it.
I think this is one of the days where the business owned both of us. And
I'd have to agree with you. That's why we are so well deserving of a nice beverage today.
That was a nice segue.
I know.
Dang,
Come on.
He's a professional podcaster. I want you all to know. Today, we are enjoying 2 delicious, probably very well-known beverages from a place called Station 26 Brewing. They're down kind of in the Park Hill area. It's an old fire station. It's a really cool place. But they make really amazing beer, and they make a lot of really different amazing beers. But this happens to be probably, I would say, their 2 most well-known beers. So we have their Tangerine Cream and then their Juicy Banger IPA.
So it does say Tangerine Vanilla Bean on mine.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So some good flavors.
I was when I was a kid and I first was introduced to Starbucks. One of my buddies on the club baseball team, Nate Brown, introduced me to the Vanilla Bean Frappuccino at Starbucks. So it was my favorite drink for the longest time as a kid. 7th, 8th grade. A lot of sugar.
That's a time to get your Starbucks order dialed in. That was a white chocolate mocha first was my first thing.
Oh, those are still kind of like one of my favorites.
Delicious.
All right, ready?
1, 2, 3. There it is.
Done deal. There we go.
There we go. So the one thing I learned about Station 26 recently is, as is probably well known to most people, especially our listeners, there are people that are like less and less people are drinking regularly. Right. It's becoming a little bit more
fitness world.
I would say, I'd say a little more conscious of what you're doing, and so the NA beer scene is really, I would say, is
taking off,
blown up a little bit. Well, I learned from someone that I know pretty well that Station 26 makes a non-alcoholic version of this beer you're about to drink.
Of all their beers, or just this one?
For sure, that one. They might have others, but
Okay.
I've had the non-alcoholic Tangerine Cream, and it tastes just like the real thing. And it's pretty great. I think we should go for it. Here we go. You got yours. Better pour than mine.
Oh, that's exactly how I'd expect it to taste. Honestly, if I'm being totally honest there, yeah, that'll set the front. That'll set the front port kind of vibes. Like I would drink this beer while playing basketball with my little brother. That's exactly how, like in the front driveway.
Yes.
That's the kind of vibe it's setting with me.
I like that.
It's not too heavy, but it's like light enough, and it has like that popsicle flavor,
His little brother's over 21, just so you know.
Yep, that's true. That's also very true. Sorry, I should clarify that.
He's not contributing to the delinquency of minors.
Never.
Not that I know of. That one is delicious. It's easy drinking. It's a lower ABV too. I think it's like a little over 5%. That one's tasty.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tell me about the Juicy Banger.
If you looked up IPA in the dictionary and then tasted that page, that's about what this would taste like. It is the most textbook. It's like so perfectly like balanced. It's got a little bit of the hoppiness on the nose, but it's not kick you in the face like a pine tree.
Yeah.
And it's a little bitter on the flavor side, but
I need to try to find the IPA. I tried this one IPA one time, and this guy literally goes, "It tastes like a Christmas tree." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Got the IPA. it tasted like a Christmas tree, like a pine tree. It tasted exactly how it smelled.
See, that's what's funny about these is you'll get that on the nose, but then like you taste, you're like, that's not what it tastes like.
Yeah, it's different.
I've never had it be dialed exactly in.
Yeah, it's weird when it happens like that.
Even these, like you can taste you can smell the fruit a little bit,
good.
but like then the flavor is so smooth, it's so easy. And I think cream ales are that way anyway. They tend to be like smaller bubbles. Like you can see the foam difference on ours.
Yeah.
The bubbles tend to be smaller, which makes it just a smoother texture on the palate too, which is pretty cool.
That is cool. You can tell you're definitely a bartender.
That's one of my nerd moments.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was going to say, you've definitely done your science.
Yes,
I've had
a beer or two.
Have you ever made your own beer?
Yes.
Okay, I think I remember you telling me that.
Yes, it started as a hobby for me in college. Well, not really. It started as I love this. It started as a homework assignment.
Okay.
In college, I majored in.
What a homework assignment!
I know. I majored in hospitality management, and one of my classes was alcohol beverage control management or something like that. And our final project was you pick one of these 3 projects and do it. And one of the projects you could choose was brew your own beer. And we got the project early in the semester. And then journal everything you do, all your steps. And then turn the journal in. The journal was the grade, basically, like how you did on your process. So I found a place, it was in Fort Collins, I found a place that sold kits. And I got all my stuff for that. And I got home and I got it all set up and I brewed and I loved the process. It was really fun. I did a terrible job of documenting. And I made an amber ale because I was in the heart of fat tire country. So I was like, I'm going to try to make my own.
Good call.
And I finished it, a month out or whatever it was, and it did all its fermenting. I tried it. It was actually pretty good, all things considered. And I realized I did a terrible job on my journal, so I kind of backtracked and tried to fix it up. I finished a semester, I bring my journal and a 6-pack to my professor. I'm like, here you go. This is the beer. This is what I did. He emailed me that evening and he said, the journal got you a C+, but because of the beer, I'm going to give you an A in the class.
Oh, there you go.
So the beer was good enough to give me an A.
Okay,
that's
a flex.
I'll take.
That's a flex.
Now, I'm not saying that's me all the time with brewing beer, but that is that.
So what you're saying is you bribed your teacher to get an A.
Yes, with alcohol.
I love that.
But I was over the age of 21. He was like 65 years old, and he was all about it.
Yeah, I would say that counts.
He was an ex-chef, an ex-bart. Like
he could tell you put that sweat and hard work in.
God, it was wonderful, man. I loved hearing that from him. I was like, yes. And then since then, I've done it. I mean, I love brewing. I haven't brewed probably in about a year, but I have. I usually have. I
would be interested. You know what we're gonna do? I think we're gonna have an episode where Nick brews beer.
Oh man, that's gonna be a long episode. We'll have to clip it down a lot.
No.
It'll be like a cooking show.
I'm not saying you have to like make it on it, but we do the testing.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'll start a batch.
There you go. Yeah, so we can try it out.
I think that's a great plan.
I'm more like a flavorful kind of guy. You know, not the hops, but I would be down to try a beer.
I could do like a summery kind of fruit beer of some kind.
There you go.
And make it like you said, a basketball in the front yard kind of beer.
There you go.
Okay, I like this. This is a good plan.
So
I didn't know you were going to spring that on me today.
Since we were so busy today, though,
yes.
We'll go ahead and switch topics here. Tell me what you did today.
So today, amongst many other things, there was actually a closing for a client of mine who is just closing on the purchase of their new home.
Okay.
And they are in process now. Tomorrow, actually, is the day that I go to their current home.
Okay.
And I help them kind of walk through and get it ready to list. They were able to buy first. They were able to...
See, now that is nice.
It's ideal.
Having that comfortability is huge. And not just as a buyer, but also on the selling standpoint. If I were to have an all-cash offer, no contingency, or finance offer, no contingency, then that'd be way better than I feel like what's going on right now. Because I feel like, a lot more people are trying to do those contingent offers, and it's just hard to get that timing right? So it's like you got to make sure you have the right realtor first off to do it all, but... I guess that's kind of like why we wanted to kind of dive into that.
Yeah, I mean, the contingent offer thing got real taboo during the boom of 2020 and 2021.
Okay.
Because if you were writing an offer on a home, you were odds are competing with 7 other people for that
Correct.
home. So if your offer is contingent on the sale of your home, you got pushed to the bottom of the pile or didn't even get looked at.
And I feel like that's happening again, right? I feel like if you're a seller right now, it's a hot market again. So we're starting to get those above asking. Less negotiations, all that good stuff in the contracts. And I feel like, we're starting to get to that point of of just, I can shove offers away, which is nice. It's a good thing for the sellers. However, for the buyers though, and if you can't, buy before selling, it puts a lot of pressure on. I have a client of mine who we're still deciding if they want to list or not in the next few weeks, but they are looking for their forever home. So we would be listing, we'd have to make a contingent offer off the sale of their home. Now, from the numbers I've shown them, they would be the only one listed in the price range of $500 to $585.
This is what we talked about last week?
Yes.
Okay.
So but they're so nervous about if I can get anything under contract side, right? Because we're waiting for our funds to come in while we can't have the funds directly to give them already to the seller. So I guess that's like the only hesitant part. So I was going to ask you kind of like what you're doing to kind of relieve this process, or what your kind of steps to actions were when it comes to this kind of process.
Yeah, this one, as you said, we were pretty fortunate that these buyers could do this. It took some doing. They really had to refinagle finance stuff on their personal side.
I see.
To make the purchase of the home.
Yeah.
And then they're now able to move, get the other home staged, looking nice, like looking ready, and then showings will be easier because they're not home and they have 2 little girls and a dog.
The best.
They don't need to have to try and figure out a showing schedule. It can just be go and show, which is easier to sell it that way.
Gotcha. So another question, actually, totally kind of just out of this on the spot, but your thoughts on staging. So I just went to a showing today. I had 4 showings today, and we went through a few properties, and it felt so cramped in the first 3 condos because of all their furniture, and it's condos, so it's a little bit tighter. 1,000 square feet was what we're looking at. So the living room, couch, all that good stuff, it always felt cramped. We went to our very last one, and I'm always recommending staging. We went to our very last one, and my buyer was like, "Oh, this already seems way better." And I was just like, "Well, it's just because there's no furniture." So finally, I saw a case where no staging won the battle today. But I would say, personally, and this is what I'm going to ask you, I'd say staging is worth it when it comes to single-family homes because of how it sets the stage when walking through. Even with AI staging now, I would say that also kind of sets that stage.
Absolutely.
So when you look at the pictures online, see this AI staging, but then you go through yourself, well, then sometimes the seller might be upset because it's not exactly what they expected, or the furniture doesn't look as nice, and sometimes that could be the sale of the home because they're able to picture themselves more with their own furniture inside of the single-family residence. What would you say to that?
I think you're right. I think it is more commonly effective to have good staging in a home, and I say that slowly because staging doesn't always mean putting furniture in there. Sometimes it just means decluttering and rearranging and removing some furniture and just putting a certain setup in there. And someone like Lisa Magleby or Lisa Reich, that's what they do. That's that's their brain works that way, and they do that as a side business too. But being able to do that and see that, have that vision, does make it feel not cramped, or does help them visualize. Now, there are going to be times where that's not possible, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, my first go-to is always to go visit the seller in their home first and look at what they have.
Okay.
Because there's a chance, my dad, Mike, has one on right now that's these sellers live immaculately. They live in a home that looks like it could be in a magazine every day.
Yeah.
So we touched nothing. Like their home was perfect, just the way it was. That's the unicorn. You don't find that very often, but otherwise, I think a lot of times you can look at them and say, okay, this is how it's set up. If you remove these, like declutter and remove maybe this couch so that it's a little more open or whatever.
Right.
Sometimes that's all it takes. It doesn't have to be.
So true.
We haul everything out. We bring in new furniture. Sometimes it is that, but I think it's very home specific and it's seller taste specific. I don't think there's anything wrong with an empty home though.
No,
I don't.
I think it goes both ways. I just really think on the time of day or showing the property, like, capturing all that natural sunlight is definitely very important. That's why I try to schedule my showings like right around like 1 to about 5-ish, because I think I'm a big believer in natural sunlight and how much your house actually gets during the afternoon. Because you're not going to be at the house, depending on your job and depending on my client that I'm showing, you're not going to be at the house usually if you're working to 9 to 5 in the morning or anything like that, right? So we want to make sure you're sitting at the right times or whatever, like, you're getting all the right sunlight and all that when you're actually home. But I guess that also kind of leads to my next question. What do you see selling now more in this market and then what's sitting? Because it's a hot market, and we still see
Sure.
homes that are sitting, especially, condo. Condo market's a little bit different from single-family homes. We all know that. But condos are different. However, I still feel like that if it's not up to date, if it's no garage, and if it's just not move-in ready, I feel like those are the houses that are sitting for a month to a month and a half. But I mean, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think you're right. I think condition does have a larger role to play now than it has in the past, call it 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And I say that because, when it was the boom of 2020 and 2021, people just wanted the home.
Right.
They wanted the home. Money was easy to borrow. They didn't care. They just
Right.
wanted to get in. They do the projects.
They just want to land.
The largest demographic that still owns property today is the baby boomer generation. Now, a lot of them have done updates to their home, but many of them have not. So as they start to downsize, move on, do whatever they're doing, pass away, and their homes get sold or get put back into the realm of circulation, so to speak,
Yeah, I got you.
a lot of those homes need improvements.
Right.
And so those are the ones
That just aren't.
that if they're up against the one down the street that someone bought 3 years ago and updated, it's hard. It's hard to justify it, and it does reflect in price.
Very true.
Or in how long it takes, like you said, how long it's sitting on the market. So I think those things do come into play. Condition matters more because the generation that is buying more is the generation that is moving up. So
True.
the between
Very true.
32 and 45 years old, maybe with a family, but they're already purchased a condo, a townhome, a small single-family home. They're moving to their next one. They probably had a project in their first one. A lot of them did. We did. We don't necessarily want another project. So that idea of more finishes, like you were saying, the condition matters. That's a larger pool of the buyers than it ever was.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
So it kind of goes in waves, as so many things do in this business, but I do think that makes a big difference. And staging plays into that too.
So I'm kind of basing this out of Arvada as my center sphere, right? I would say, and people people said the market took downfall, all that good stuff. But when I first started real estate, I would say the average sales price was about $550 to $575 for like a single family, 3-bed, 2-bath, smaller, not necessarily in Old Town, but like right outside, or whatnot. I feel like now I'm starting to see $610 to like $625 as our average listing price. And I say that too because of the client who I'm about to list. She's the only one who would be in that price range of the 500. So I just find that also kind of astonishing too, of how that's slowly gone up without us even kind of like noticing. I mean, I'm just asking you, like, do you think this average sales price has moved up just a little bit?
I do. Okay. I mean, I went to Ralston Valley High School. I don't know if I told you, but I went there a couple weeks ago to speak to their personal finance and business class is what it's called. 'Cause they were doing a section on investment, and they wanted someone in the real estate world to come and speak to what it means to buy a house and how that works as an investment. And when I did that, I ran numbers because we did a live viewing on the screen of a current listing, an active listing. And when I did all my research on it, I wanted to find an average or a median home price in Arvada, single family home, $645,000. That's the median. That's the middle.
And I feel like, as a realtor, like when I started out, it was like $575 for a good one,
Yeah.
So
it has increased, which proves that the investment is worth it.
Yeah.
But it also does create that barrier for some people, and that's the buying realm that's difficult right now in general, especially to kind of bring us back. If you are currently own, and there's many factors that play in why currently owning and trying to buy something new is terrifying.
Yep.
Number one, and I hate this, it's a 4-letter word in my book, but it's a real thing. Their rate is likely 3% or below on their current residence.
I know exactly. Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
I didn't say it. I'm sorry. I didn't say it.
Go ahead and double that, and then add a 0.5%.
Well, that's about right. And so that is a hard enough pill to swallow.
Yeah, no kidding.
But then I want to talk about kind of the ideas of how you get there. So if you are a current homeowner, you do have equity. You've been in your home more than a year and a half or 2 years. You probably have a little bit of equity.
Right.
And given what we just talked about, that home prices in the last couple of years did what they've done, they haven't skyrocketed, but they've on a steady upward trajectory.
Yeah, it hasn't. I have not seen a decline. I have not seen that red line. It's only been a slow. I like to think about it as like the USD dollar. Like you always see it even. It's never going down, but it's also not really going that up right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, real estate's going just a little more up than that.
A little bit up, but you can bet on that usually. I mean, my dad always used to say that over a 50-year period, you can almost draw a straight line that it will increase 3 to 5% every year. And when homes were $75,000 to buy, 3 to 5% was not much. But as that compounded over time,
it's a lot.
It goes up faster. And so these people that have maybe this little bit of equity, there are options and a couple of different routes to go that I think this is the meat of what I definitely want to make sure everybody knows about. And I try to talk to a lot of my clients about is, number one, can you access the current equity before you sell?
Yes.
And there are many ways to do that, right? One of which is a HELOC.
Yep. Which I am so familiar with because of, I mean, I would say, sorry not to cut you off, but
this is it.
I would say my higher investors are doing the HELOC loans, right? They're using the equity from other properties and they're buying other properties without having to have the cash out of pocket. So it's a great way of doing things.
It's leveraging what you already have.
Yep.
You already have that equity. It's yours.
So why not use it?
But it's currently locked into this mortgage. You can pull on it.
Yep. And I think it's cool how it actually works like that as well. Yeah, HELOCs are one way. Well, I feel like it's the most common way.
Most common. And when I think about that, I think about the HELOC that I took out of my house once upon a time, which is now gone. But I
just had a client that did it for paint. I didn't know indeed you could use a HELOC for different, anything.
It's your money. It's a line of credit. It's like having a credit card.
Yeah, it's insane. I didn't know it was like that. I thought you had to directly use it for a house or something.
No, we took it out to remodel our basement.
Okay.
When we did that a few years back.
Nice. Okay.
And so it made it possible to pay a contractor $30,000 to do the basement versus I don't have $30,000 right now, but I did in the house.
And plus you did it well, right? There's a difference between doing it fully and thoroughly than just trying to do it yourself.
Correct.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a guy who loves to try to do it himself all the time. Especially I'm a guy who likes to save money, so I like to try it myself no matter what. If I can, then great, I'd save money. If I don't, well, oh well. But I would say when you're using a contractor, it's so important to make sure that you use the right contractor because of how many issues it could save, in the future when listing.
If you'd like, we could do a whole episode on the contractor that I had to fire during doing our basement because that was the example of using the wrong contractor.
Oh.
And all
I
of the
wonder
things
how
went with
that works. So did you have to pay him when you fired him?
Well, we had paid incremental amounts. So a deposit up front and then a chunk in the middle. And by the middle part, I was like, this is a fail. You're not showing up. It was a lot of bad stuff. Found out later the guy had a record and was wanted in another state for defrauding multiple homeowners doing the same thing. So I fired him, told him if he came back to my property, I'd call the police. And then his subs were looking to me to pay them. They're like, well, he hasn't paid us. And I was like, he has my money, so why hasn't he paid you? I can't help you. So it was a very dicey scenario. So yeah, not great.
Smokes.
We got it done. We got a good finish carpenter in there to finish everything out. Did a great job, John. You crushed it. Thank you.
John.
And yet it was just a very good learning experience. But we were able to do all that much without the firing and all the drama that went with it. It's much more reliable to use somebody who does this every day. It is the exact same thing as if I try to get down there. I equate me trying to get down there and finish my basement is the same as someone doing a for sale by owner that's never sold a home before.
Makes perfect sense.
No dog on people that want to do for sale by owner. I see you. I hear you. You don't want to pay the fees to realtors. That's okay. But if you don't have any experience with it, it's a process that needs to be educated on first. So same goes for me. I am not handy. My wife will tell you first, and I'll tell you second. I am not a handy person. So being able to go in there and do finish work, not me, dude.
Oh, see, I'm 50-50.
Okay.
I'm 50-50 handy. I could do yard work. I can replace some things. Did construction where the tile work in bathrooms, tile backsplash in showers, all that good stuff. So I could do kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to support structures or opening up walls and stuff, that kind of stuff scares me because I don't know how to test if it's really, I mean, unless I'm showing a home, I can tell what the support structure is and stuff. But when I'm doing it at my own house, I'm like, I don't want to mess with this.
I don't want to screw this up.
This is my life investment, you know? And that's why that's why it's important that you get it done with the right people.
Trust a pro, an actual pro.
Yes.
Not my guy.
Yeah, well,
he's not my guy. I shouldn't even.
I was going to say,
associate myself with him.
not your guy.
Not the guy that I playfully said that if you come back on my property, I will call the police.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And he didn't, he just got out of his truck. He didn't even have the chance to say a word to me. It caught him off guard. But then he had that look on his face like, oh, it happened again. Dang it. I got to go. And I never heard from him again.
Dude.
Never. So, yeah. I don't even know if he's still in the state because there was a whole news story that was done on him after I was done on Channel 7. It was crazy.
Whoa, so they come by your house?
Some other homeowner was pissed and was not okay with it. And he had way more money out of this homeowner than he got out of me. And so this guy called me. He's like, hey, I also was a victim of this.
How did he get your phone number?
I have no idea.
Oh, God.
Maybe one of the subs.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Maybe.
But he's like, do you want to be a part of this news story? I was like, honestly, no. I don't want my family involved. I don't want anything involved with.
Well, I guess that's a great call.
Not for anything other than I dealt with it. I'm fine. And honestly, the work that was done and the money that I was out,
it wasn't like
they were kind of close to equal. I probably had a little more money out than I wanted based on what was finished already in the basement.
I see.
But we were all up to drywall.
Okay. Okay. So it's not like
everything.
Okay.
No, but it was like the project that was 4 weeks long. I was 6 months in when I fired him.
Oh.
So it was a lot of things. So anyway, that's not what it's about.
Gosh.
We were on HELOCs, and we can go back to that now. But yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah, so sorry.
No, that's
my fault.
Tangenting.
Story time.
But the other one that I think is equally important, and it's one thing I think about. I talked about my HELOC because the rate on it is substantial.
Yeah.
So usually it's prime plus 1, which means whatever the rate is today, it's that plus 1, and it moves with the rate.
Right.
So if the rate goes up, yours goes up by that plus 1%. So it can be a little bit dicey on the interest side.
You're gambling on the interest rate.
Gambling
Just
on
like a
interest
3-2-1 buy down.
Yeah.
You're gambling on interest rates.
Very much so. It's a great correlation, actually. The other version that I like, that I've been talking about more with people, is the idea of a bridge loan, which does the same thing. The bridge loan is a separate loan that they look at the equity in your home, and they will loan you up to 80% of that equity to use to purchase a home. It is strictly for purchase, like you were talking about. It's not like a HELOC where you can use it for anything. The bridge is for a purchase.
Okay.
And then it's designed so that when you do that, you buy that home, it's paid off with the sale of the other home.
Oh.
So it's temporary.
So it's just like a temporary bridge. Makes sense.
Yep.
I see exactly why it's named that. Okay.
That works great if someone has a little bit more equity. Now, if they only have 30, 40 grand in equity or something like that, it can be done. Odds are there are fees associated with doing a bridge loan too.
Right.
Odds are the fees would make it counterproductive.
What about a HELOC? How many fees are in that?
I think it's just whatever your payoff is.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, so it's just the interest, I believe.
That's what I
There might be there's closing costs.
I think you're right.
It's a small amount of closing costs in the beginning, but because you have to close the HELOC to use it first, right? So, but the bridge loan is a great other option, and that's the one I've seen and I've talked to a lot more people about lately. Last year, my best friend Chris, if you're listening, I don't know if you are, but you should be. They were able to do that, where they were able to utilize a bridge, get out of their current home, get into their new home.
Good for them.
We got the previous home all tidied up, ready to rock and roll, got it on the market, and it was gone quick. And so the bridge loan works a little different in that, and I'm not a lender, but I know enough about it now to be dangerous, that there are different versions of it, but the one that they used, you had a 6-month window to sell the previous residence.
That's a good enough window, I'd say, especially in this market. Well, last year's market might have been different, but yeah. This year's market, still no problem.
Yeah, and it's if you get to that 6-month mark and it doesn't sell, it has a guaranteed buyout dollar amount, but it's going to be less than what you had it listed for, because they're basically saying that equity we're taking out of it is like part of our fee kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So thankfully we got his home sold in 3 days, so that worked out nice for them.
Didn't even need a week.
No, but. That is a nice option to do because then it's less stress. There again, you can move first. You're not there. They had 2 little kids. They had a dog. Having to try and manage all that when you're a seller, having your home on the market is inconvenient.
Yeah, yep.
And so eliminating some inconvenience, creating more convenience.
Way better
worth
option.
it. Yeah.
Period. Good. That's a great point.
So it's kind of an interesting time, and that was more the concept, and worth talking to a lender. We know a couple really good ones, so we definitely would encourage you to, if that's the route you're thinking of going, find out what exists out there for you, because it may feel like I can't buy because of my rate is too good on my house. I don't have any cash.
It's so easy to say no. It's so, and that's like what is so sad. Like especially for all my Gen Zers, if anyone that's Gen Z listening to this, so many of us say no immediately because we know that we can't afford it. But have we even tried to see our options yet? Have you even tried to reach out to a lender? Have you tried to look for roommates that might be able to help you pay for your mortgage? Have you tried, different have you even looked at a home yet? Is the real question. I mean, it's just like, it's so easy for us to say no because we feel like that gap is so far. But really, that's why we're here, is to make that gap so much easier for you guys. There's so many different ways now. And there's also like, the low income housing and all that stuff. Like, there's different options there, newer builds, all that. I'm finally starting to see more options for Gen Zers, which I love to see.
And we talked about it last week, but there's all the different down payment assistance programs for those people too.
And there's a new one. You want to tell me about the $25,000? You can get. RJ was telling me about it from the down payment assistant class. It was you can get $25,000 down, no problem, if you are a first time home buyer. And it's not too much to like pay back at all. And it's just like a general assist program you have to use for the house. And he was telling me over the years of equity, they I forgot what he said.
Is part of it like a grant?
Yes, so exactly. So, and then, but like it might, like some of it might even be removed just through, So, I didn't want to say that being unsure, but So, I mean, like there's programs out there now to help us out. So where are we at? What are we doing?
We should probably try and see if RJ can come talk to us and come join us for this. RJ would probably have a good time with this.
Well, I think he'd be a great guest speaker because RJ is one of our newer agents here in the office. He's a pretty hard worker and stuff like that, but he goes to all the classes and stuff, which I love. So. And
he's got the work ethic of an NCAA football player because he was an NCAA football player, which you'll see if he's on camera. But I agree. And we also, could speak with Stephanie, who's our lender at Home Mortgage Advisors, because she's well-versed in that. She was actually part of that down payment assistance class as an educator. So, but the point is to know that those options exist for you. There is a chance that you learn things about what loans are out there, and it's still not the right time for you to buy. That is okay. It's okay to say no.
Perfectly fine. As long as you're getting your neck out there and then you actually have the evidence to say no, then I'll justify it.
Yeah, educate yourself first and know where you're at, and then it's not the right time. Or the right time is 2 years from now, or the right time is 6 months from now, or the right time is 10 years from now. Whatever it is, it's okay. But it's better, it's like anything else in this life. Why fly blind?
No kidding.
Why not get the information, know the information?
Yeah.
That is definitely a Gen Z and millennial generation thing of, I want the information.
Yeah.
I want to know more before I make a decision.
That's the only way, I feel like that's the only way we do listing presentations now, or even like kind of on the buyer side when we run, comps and stuff like that. It's numbers. It comes down to the numbers. And what are we good at? Numbers. Yeah.
Data's a huge piece of this job.
Numbers. Yeah. Science, not my best, but numbers though.
There's very little science in our job.
Yeah. I would say that it's identifying the wrong science in the house.
Is it the scientific method that we use in experimenting which house is the right one for you? I hypothesize. I predict. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Maybe. But there are options.
Yeah, and I think that's the important piece. So definitely talk to Tyler, talk to me. We want to make sure that you guys
reach out to us. Yeah. We're also here to answer questions. We'll go ahead and answer your guys' questions on the podcast. Give us a shout, give us a follow. That'd be awesome. We would love that. We're starting to get a lot more downloads, which we also love to see.
Thank you.
So we appreciate you guys for actually tuning in. It feels good that, people are out there and they need this information, and we're here just to give it to you straight up. No problems. Just us.
Yeah.
And the podcast.
Yeah. And we do see the comments. He's right. So please.
We do. In fact, we wait for you guys in the comments.
And Apple Podcasts for sure. We can see all those comments. I think there's probably exists on Spotify too, and I don't know what that looks like, but I think it still is worth
I think you can still pull it up on Spotify.
Yep.
But now you can actually see the video on Spotify. So if you guys are watching us on Spotify, what's up? Welcome to the new feature of seeing us.
Bum-ba-da-bum. All right, you guys, that does it for us. So thank you again for watching, listening, subscribing, all the things. Keep it up. And until next time, my friend. Cheers.